Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Into the Squared Circle podcast. Yes, I'm your host, GBs, and welcome. And it's going to be a very emotional podcast for this episode. If you watch AEW Dynamite, All Elite Wrestling Dynamite this past Wednesday, it was very emotional. It was definitely very, very emotional. Why is that? Well, the main event for All Elite Wrestling Dynamite this past Wednesday, January 25th, was the main event of Mark Briscoe, the brother of the late great, rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. Had a match against Jay Lethal in a tribute match. And it was a very, very emotional. I mean, if you're a hardcore wrestling fan like myself, it was emotional. It was emotional. I mean, trying not to have a teary eye, it was tough. It was really tough. And the package, the video package they did, I believe in the first quarter of the show, I think the first hour of the show, they did a video package. I'm like, man, it got me. It got me. I'm like, man, already. And we haven't got to the main event. But kind of talk about it here. And I hear a lot of people discussing, I mean, why couldn't he have the match between Mark and Jay Lethal being the first thing on the show? And sitting there thinking about it, kind of have that match, and I don't know. I mean, would you want to have that as a first match of the show to kick off the show? And then just kind of, I don't know, be a little sad throughout the whole show? Look at it. Pro wrestling fans has seen many, many tragics when it comes to losing a superstar from any company, New Japan, WWE, WCW. I mean, in the past. Yes, the show must go on. Yes, the show must go on. And, you actually thinking about it, you to kind of keep the fans happy. You got to keep the show moving and kind of press things forward. So that's another reason why they could, they put the match last, to kind of end the show. Here we are, we have the tribute, we have the show going, it was nice and smooth, everybody was happy, all riled up, and here's the tribute. And a lot of fans are wondering why they didn't do a 10-bell salute. And I haven't watched the tribute show that was filmed from last week after Dynamite, which is, I believe it's free on YouTube and Honor Club, their streaming service, so it's free. It's a 3-hour show. I haven't watched it yet. They probably did a 10-bell salute on that tribute alone. But I'll have to check it out sometime this weekend. But either way, it was a beautiful tribute. Nothing bad out of this. This was a perfect tribute. And the match itself, fans know, including myself, that Mark was going to win it. Obviously using his brother move in the main event to win the match. And it was tough. I mean, watching Jay Lethal obviously walking down the ramp, you could tell he was getting emotional. It looked like he wants to cry. And I don't blame him if I was in that situation. I mean, if I was in his shoes, I will definitely step up and wrestle Mark in the match, especially if you worked with Jay Briscoe, especially in Ring of Honor, because Jay Lethal's been in Ring of Honor for quite some time, so he knows him. He knows him. So for him to see him come down the ramp and get emotional, gets you emotional, makes you feel like you're part of the match. And when you're a longtime wrestling fan like myself, you could feel it. It hits you. Even when we found the news on social media, when Tony Khan, released a statement at Twitter, like, it hit me. Like, it's like a car well, I don't want to use that analogy. It's just like getting hit with a 10-ton brick, like just walking right through the wall. That's how much that news hit me personally. Hit me, and I'm pretty sure it hit a lot of people, and especially pro wrestlers who worked with the Briscoes. I can't imagine what their initial thoughts on the day or the evening of when the tragic event happened. And when I saw the news about it, it just hit me. And seeing Dynamite's tribute was just, it had a different feeling. It was emotional, and along with all the other pro wrestling fans like yourself. And out comes Mark Briscoe, this All Elite Wrestling debut, and the fans were just in awe when he came out. And for me, it was just like, I don't know what to feel. I just like, here's Mark, and I'm like, we love Mark. We love him, and we love Jay most importantly. But when Mark came out and had that match with Jay, it was a beautiful match. It was a great match. And obviously Mark won the match with his hands risen in the air. And both men hugged in the ring. Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe hugged out in the ring. And out comes out all the wrestlers backstage, and walked out on stage and just clapped and teary-eyed. And eventually Tony Khan came out from the gorilla position and hugged Mark when Mark came back up the ramp. And obviously Mark made contact with the television camera and said, we love you, Jay. This is for you. And it was a beautiful moment. And we love you, Jay. I'm including myself, we love you. And I was grateful enough to see the Briscoes wrestle live in action. And I kind of wish I spent a little extra bucks to kind of meet them, the meet and greet when they were in Ring of Honor. If you ever been to a Ring of Honor show, they normally do meet and greets prior to the Ring of Honor shows. And you have to pay for each appearance. And if I wish I went. If I had a time machine, I wish I went back and met the Briscoes and, cherish their memory forever. But at least I had a chance and lucky enough to see them. But maybe you, the listeners or viewers at home, maybe you met the Briscoes. And I see it on social media all the time. Awesome comments, nothing but positive comments, and how great they are, how nice. There's a bunch of sweethearts. And that means the world. That means the world to a lot of fans, a lot of pro wrestling fans out there. But nonetheless, yes, the numbers came in for All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. As I'm looking up right here, it hit 1 million viewers. 1 million viewers, up 3.5% from last week. So that's a big jump. This is the best audience total since October 5th. So all eyes were on Dynamite Wednesday night for the main event. Obviously, this was booked on Tuesday. So like the day before, this was booked. And Tony Khan pushed, and there's been, I believe it was coming from him, a statement saying that he pushed really hard to get Mark on here to do this. And I don't think it's just more pressure on him, but just through Warner Media, or Warner Discovery, which, again, I still shake my head on the decision and what they made last week. And whatever it is, I'm pretty sure they got some angry emails. I'm pretty sure they got angry. I don't know if they still do it like in the 80s and 90s where they call the office and leave voicemail, or the reception like, hey, you got like a million watchers and listeners of pro wrestling fans from AEW calling and threatening to do such and such, and because of the decisions you guys made on not doing a tribute the day after the incident. So whatever it is, they flipped the switch on it and they allowed it this week on Dynamite. So it was a beautiful tribute. And I posted it on my Twitter page Into the Squared Circle podcast on how I thought how beautiful it was, and everybody else agreed. Here we are together as a family, a pro wrestling family. And again, it doesn't matter what company you work for, if you're WWE, New Japan, Impact Wrestling, no matter where you are, there's always going to be those wrestlers that worked with them in the past in Ring of Honor, and they all love them. Obviously, this past Monday night on Raw, Kevin Owens had a Jay Briscoe armband leading right before the main event of Monday Night Raw. So it tells you right there how much affects across the world, no matter what promotion you work in. Jay is being felt everywhere. So rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. We all love you, and we miss you.